Hello everybody, welcome back to the stream. How are you doing? So let's get these ads out of the way, shall we? And then we'll get into whatever we're working on today. I know what we're going to be doing first on the stream, but yeah, we'll figure out what else we're doing. But before I get into it, I want to remind everyone that I've got Gunforged available for sale. It's my first commercial release as a full-time indie developer, so if you're interested, please check that out. Sorry, I'm just playing with the camera here. So if you're interested, please check that out. It's a great way to support me and my work. And I also have my Udemy courses available for sale. This is the Survivor Style course, which will teach you how to build a complete Survivor Style game in Godot. It's got thousands of reviews and thousands of students. I think you'll enjoy it if you're looking to get into Godot. And I also have a new Udemy course in the works. I was actually working on that this morning. That one is going to be an online cooperative multiplayer course. So if you're interested in learning that, then hit the notification bell to be notified when that goes live. And yeah, I appreciate all the support. So if you recall, yesterday we ended with making a combat animation for collecting the currency, which is the health, or the blood, I mean. So when we kill this enemy, those blood things come out and they all go over to the currency tracker there. So we still got some work to do on that, but I think it's looking all right. So we got some blood coming out, and then all those little blood things go out and they all zoom to the currency there. So we just got to do some extra work on that to make that look nice and good. So yeah, that's what we'll be doing first, and then we'll figure out what to do after that. Hello Emerson, welcome, good to see you again as always. Snupbill Yummers, me sad my file got corrupted by blue screen and very unrecoverable. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Some of my work in progress, at least, still save in Discord, but most of it gone. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's the coping stages, yeah. No, that sucks. Yeah, I don't, yeah, that is very unfortunate. You know. But what file was it? Were you working on a game project? I'll buy it day one. Thank you, Emerson. Appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. Okay, so yeah, so the main thing that we're trying to figure out right now is if we go to the run manager here, drawer UI, player inventory. So this currency display here, this label is changing immediately when the currency changes. Currency manager connect. So when the blood changes here to this currency manager, on blood changed. So I'm going to need to animate the blood label text. The problem is that I need it to somehow go from... Oh, I don't need any of this. Let's get rid of this stuff. Oh, I think I also fixed something here. Hold on a second. I think I also fixed something. Any day now, you can start any day. Thank you. I think I can, yeah, I can toggle these now. Sweet, so that's fixed. Fix speed change when drawer expanded. So that's good. All right, anyway. So we've got the earned currency. This is being created here. The only way that I can think to do this really is I need to tie these animations together somehow. So this earned currency animation, this needs to be tied together with whatever tween is going to play for the text value. And I don't know how to couple those things without coupling those things, you know what I mean? So this earned currency is calling play. It's getting the currency display, currency target group name. It's going there. Maybe I could do this through... I wonder if I should do this through the currency manager. There's a currency manager here, which is basically just the data around which currency you have. I wonder if I could use this to coordinate the animations though. So if I did something like, I don't know, I could do something like public static void play earned currency. And then we'll do like int amount here. Would this be the way to do it? And then what I could do is have an export for the currency private node 2D currency effect node. I could do the earned currency scene. Okay, Kat, we don't have to do this every morning. We don't have to do this every morning. You know that I stream every morning. You know that this happens. Why are you complaining? He's purring, by the way. So he loves this. You love attention, don't you? Yes, I know. Okay. Hello, Define Dottie, welcome back. When you're creating particles, you use a shortcut to test it, right? What was that again? So for one shot specifically, if you have one shot enabled, you can hit Control R to restart the particle system and burst it. So that way you don't have to like keep clicking the emitting checkbox every time. Is it safe to version control ASprite files? Yes. Yeah, it's safe to version control basically anything. The way you get into trouble though is if you are version controlling very large files, because that will bloat your repository size. So you probably want to use large file storage for anything that's over, probably anything that's over like a couple of megabytes that's going to be changing frequently. But ASprite files are super tiny. Like, I wonder if I can just go ahead and look at one real quick. Yeah, so this ASprite file, which is a reference of my entire screen here, is 12 kilobytes. So I don't bother with large file storage for that. I just commit that directly to the repository. Mostly sprites for the game concept and MS Paint. I have walking animation, some UI battle sprites, but most of it is gone. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry to hear that, Snupbill. That's always rough. I think we all have a point in our work where we lost something critical and then we're like, shoot. Well, anyway, how do I set up in-game purchases like ads for mobile game in Godot? I don't know, Cat Hugger. I'm sorry. I don't know. What I would do, so if I was in your position, what I would do is I would look for plugins or GD extensions that do that for you, that are third-party tools. That's the place where I would start. And there probably is some kind of plugin or something that will give you the in-ad purchases or the ads. Yeah, in-game purchases and ads for you, but I don't know. What system are you focusing now? Right now, I'm just doing visuals. Not really any system work, but we'll see. The currency-related stuff. Hello, Daniel. Just continued and finished your Survivor's Light course after taking more than 1 year break from it when I started the course. Really enjoyed it and started with your C# Godot course. Great content. Thank you. I appreciate that. Let you code in peace now. Hope you guys have a good day to you. Thank you, Snupbill. It's okay. You are welcome to participate or not participate in chat. There's the kitty, yes. I have a repository in my GitHub full of ASprite files. Yeah, it should be fine. Hello, well, you already chatted, but hello, Himanshu. I was playing the game, it's very good. Oh, thank you, I appreciate that. And how you added wave animation card headers. Right, so that's just, that's the same thing that I'm doing for like several places in this game. It's just a wave shader. So it's a shader that just moves the UVs of that texture in accordance with a sine wave. Very, very basic, but it's a good effect, I think. The cat is laying on my mouse arm now. Azir, this is not sustainable. This is not sustainable. Okay. Okay, we'll see if we can do this. So yeah, do I want to do this all through the currency manager? I think I might want to. Play earned currency. So that's currently happening in the run manager. I need my arm. I need my arm, cat. This might be a little bit weird. Let's see. Let me think. I think if I cut this out of here, shoot. Currency manager dot play earned currency. I think I'm going to need a from position as well. Oh. Instance dot earned currency scene. Earned currency. Instance dot effect currency effect node and then from position. So when I play earned currency, enemy board dot center position. So I think I can do that. This play here, let's make this return the tween that it's creating. Yeah, we'll return the tween that it's creating, and then in the currency manager here, we can say var tween is equal to that. Okay, I think this is going to work. I think that's going to work. You're a very underrated indie dev. How would you change that? Underrated? Well, I appreciate that. That's a compliment. I'm changing that. I mean, just in terms of being more rated, I guess. Just doing what I'm doing right now, doing my streams, publishing more YouTube videos, publishing more games, publishing more courses. It's just a matter of just building up a whole library of my work, essentially. And of course, developing my skills during that time as well. So getting better at game design itself, getting better at art, getting better at just cranking out games in a reasonable amount of time. So we're in it for the long haul, hopefully. And it's just gradual, incremental progress, you know, one step at a time. Related to in-app purchases, I think it will depend on the platform, whether it's Android or iOS. Yeah, I mean, ideally there would be a GD extension that can detect or that has both things, both support for both platforms. That's where I would start anyway. There will be things native to the platform, yeah. Is there a particular reason you use C# over GDScript? They're both good choices. Hello, James. Yeah, just use C# for the structure, really. I'm proficient in it and productive with it. And I also have a bunch of tooling built for C# that makes the development a little bit quicker. So yeah, that's basically it. Okay, so play earned currency here. So what I'm going to want is, let's do a public. Am I using this anywhere? Okay. What do I want to do here? I think I want a display blood value, blood changed. Shoot. Private int. Let's do display blood. Instance.displayBlood is equal to instance.blood. Let's just do this for now. Instance.displayBlood is equal to instance.blood. And then this play earned currency, what I'm going to do in here is... Ah, shoot. I should do this. Display blood. Set display blood equals value. Signal public delegate void display blood changed event handler. Emit signal display blood changed. There we go. Okay, so now anytime this display blood changes, it's going to emit a signal that it's changed. And then what I can do in here is in this tween, I can do tween callback callable.from display blood instance.display blood plus equals 1. This needs to be the property. I think that will work. And then if I is equal to amount minus 1, we're gonna do, we're gonna add another callback to the tween to say instance display blood is equal to instance.blood. So we're just gonna force update that for the last loop. What are you doing? All right. I think that's gonna work. So now in my currency manager, what I'm gonna do is instead of blood changed, or in my currency display rather, I'm going to connect to display blood changed. Okay, I think that'll be okay. And I no longer need this earned currency scene, so I can get rid of that. All right, let's build now. Let's build and see what happens. So now in this currency manager, let's do a quick load earned currency. And then in main, or run manager rather, this needs to have the effect node there. Okay. I guess we'll see if that works. I'm about to read some game design books like The Art of Game Design, Book of Lenses, 3rd edition, and Designing Games. Nice. Let me know how that goes. C# is way more mature as a language than the GDScript is. That is true, Lunatic. Edit. You get reflection, which can be extremely powerful. Yes, attributes are powerful. Reflection is powerful. Source generators are very useful as well. You know if Godot C# works fine in macOS? Yes, it does. Yep. Yep. Thank you for the confirmation, Lunatic. I want to move away from using Rider and leverage VS Code more with Godot for C#. Extension suggestions or setup guide. Just the default C# extensions that are available, the C# dev kit. That should be all you really need. That's all I'm basically using. So just get those installed and it should just work. Good morning, Neozoid. Welcome. Thanks for yesterday help. You're welcome. Hello, Gaming Shorts. I want to start game developing, but I know Python. Should I start with Godot Engine? Yeah. I think Godot Engine is going to be fine for you. If you already have programming experience, then GDScript is very easy to pick up. So yeah, I think it would be fine for you, for sure. It's so daunting, you know, when I look at your engine, everything's filled. When I look at mine, it's empty. I have only a concept and there are so many things to learn, sound design, music making, not to mention programming. It is very daunting, yes. Getting into game development is an extremely steep curve. It's actually not just a single steep curve, it's like multiple steep curves at the same time. So you may get good at programming, but being good at programming does not at all mean that you're going to be good at making a game, right? And it obviously doesn't mean that you're going to be good at art, and it obviously doesn't mean that you're going to be good at sound. So that is the kind of the thing about game design, is that or making games, is that it's very, very difficult across a number of skill sets and domains, and you just have to like put in the effort to learn all of those things. There's no way around it except to just spend the time. I kind of like to tell people that if you're going to get into making games, you need to be in it like with the intention that it's going to take multiple years for you to get comfortable making games. So if you're not thinking on the time scale of years, then yeah, you should be. I wish I could use Godot, but I can't get my brain into node-based design. That's interesting. I actually find the node-based design very intuitive. Hello, A the Ant. I know you basically use behavior patterns, and that is fairly close, but I just highly prefer component-based. Making games is easy, making it good is hard. Yes. Hello, John's Adventure Realm. Welcome. So happy to be here for your live stream. Well, I'm happy you're here too. Welcome, welcome. All right, let's give this a test and see what happens. And then I need to go cover the cat because he's cold. There we go. So we got the number ticking up now. Sweet. That's looking great, actually. Cool, and let's go into the shop here. And let me just make sure that buying things changes the blood count. It does, okay, cool. Sweet, I could play that effect in reverse too, like send it out this way, but I'm not gonna worry about that just now. Okay, so I can't buy anything else. Sweet, we'll go back into this guy. Awesome, that seems to be working. That seems to be working pretty well. Let's go to the increase board size. Go here. Sweet. Not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. And we're into the boss fight, so that still needs to have a combat widget available to it. So we'll do that. But yeah, that's looking great, actually. So I don't think there's anything else I need to do right now with respect to that. Stealing advice from pirate software. Once you open up the engine, immediately find a tutorial and follow it. That way you'll get something. That is good advice. I'm still learning from your course, Roguelike 101 on Udemy, and almost finished it. It's such an amazing course. I'm really grateful. Thank you for the comment. Yeah, I appreciate that, and I'm glad that you're enjoying it. Got another course in the works coming out soon, so I just got to get that finished. It's almost done. It's almost done. I think I probably need to do... I have like 63 lessons recorded. I think I'll probably need to do somewhere around 15 to 20 more. So it's almost done. It's almost done. Man, it's just so much work. So much work. Okay. Sweet. Tutorials aren't always the best since most of the time you're just copying things down, but it's good to get a base. Yes, yeah. You got to start somewhere for sure. Hello, Turbo Shook. Welcome. Do you find the courses worthwhile from a business perspective? I'm assuming so if you're making more. Yeah, I mean, most of my income right now is coming from the courses. Actually, that's not true technically right now because I have a part-time job that I'm doing like 10 hours a week on. So that's not true at the moment, but yeah, the courses are sustaining me for sure. Just personal preference, Darshan. Personal preference, I have a FAQ link in the description too, which contains a little bit more information about C#, but that's basically the gist. What game will it cover? Can't wait. It's a online multiplayer cooperative, like, twin stick shooter, basically. Yeah, what is that? I don't even know what that's supposed to be. I keep seeing that icon as a middle finger, yeah. I honestly can't tell. Like, obviously it's a little character, but I don't know what he's doing. Please invert my ifs. What do you mean invert my ifs? What ifs? If end of fun. I don't know what you're saying. I'm sorry. Thumbs up. Oh, it's a thumbs up? Is that what it is? Oh, it is a thumbs up. Are you saying you don't like early returns, lunatic? Line 69 to 63. Line 69 to 73. I don't see a problem. Good morning, Chris. So a bunch of function with if and nothing after the if. Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't know what you're saying. There's always something after the if, like here, return, return. If not has blood amount, return false. Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh. It's fine. I'm not going to change it. It would just be a series of early returns then. Anyway. So let's go ahead and continue. What do I need to do next? I need to add the combat to the boss fight, which is currently not happening. So let's get that in place. So where is that happening? Combat preparation. Combat widget. Where is this being created? Find all references. Game UI, create combat widget. So enter state combat setup. Where's the boss? Right, so that needs to be created there too. I'm gonna do a different method here. Create combat widget, and we'll pass in the enemy board as an argument. We'll just go down here, I don't know. We'll throw this around somewhere. Private, void, create combat widget, board, enemy board. I think that's all I need to do. Okay, so create combat widget there. Now in the boss, enter state boss, create combat widget. Okay, I think that should work. Let's see. Good luck, need to go now, but I'll be back for your next stream. See you soon. All right, thank you for joining John's Adventure Realm. Good to see you. Glad you were here. Pedantic, not saying because it's not saying it's horrible. Gotcha. Because it's a Boolean method return, right? You do use early returns for the most part, yeah. I'm not super dogmatic about the early returns or anything. I do like early returns, but if I write it one way and it's fine. I just woke up and started watching, didn't even leave my room yet. Awesome. Welcome. I mean, I already welcomed you, but it's fine. Stay in your room all day and watch me. The if needs to be there. Oh yeah. No, it could be inverted, yeah. It could definitely be inverted. Okay. Let's see. So if I just go to one event here and I skip it, I should get thrown into the boss, and there's the combat. Sweet. Alrighty. So I need a better transition into the boss phase, I think. Let me think about how I could do a transition into the boss phase a little bit better. Well, I'm gonna get my butt kicked. I'm dead already. Goodbye. So this whole screen needs to be redone. That auto-resolve does nothing. There's all kinds of issues here. Resurrect. Auto-resolve. Okay. Do need a better transition into the boss though, but I've got the combat widget working, so let's put this back to 10. Oops. Back to 10. Add combat widget for boss. Alright, we need a better transition into the boss fight, because right now it's just kind of immediately entering it, so I'll probably add some kind of animation or delay. Let's see. So if I beat this, get all those, it fades out. Should go back to the map or something and then do some kind of transition into the boss fight, I guess. All right, state boss. Enter state map. If state machine. I mean, I could do something in here, which is just like await to signal, get tree create timer. Let's do 2 seconds. False, yes, that's fine. Game camera dot shake 1. I'm just gonna do something really hacky here. Is this hide map and show map still being used? That doesn't sound right to me. Map container fade out. I need to call force expand in here. Oh, this is going to be a mess. Oh, this is going to be a mess. This whole class is a mess. It's fine. Await map container. Map UI.mapContainer.fade out. Drawer UI, force expand, hide map. Where am I using this fade out? Let me see. Yeah, so I think that's fine. So fade out, force expand, hide map, and then do all that stuff. Okay. I don't know, let's see if it works. I have an excuse. I'm working on code bases with JavaScript that is literally, I'm not kidding, 10. Oh yeah. So yeah. Early returns are absolutely important. Like if I go even like 2 levels of nesting, I'm like, okay, something needs to change here. Yeah, but like JavaScript, a lot of people hate JavaScript, but I think that's because JavaScript can be abused more than other languages. You know what I mean? I like JavaScript a lot, especially if you're enforcing like strict code style guidelines. So yeah, I work with JavaScript, or I worked with it as a professional software engineer, and then, you know, I'm doing a part-time consulting job where I'm doing the whole JavaScript React stack and all that stuff. And yeah, the client project that I'm working on has basically no code style at all, and it's just terrible. I was stuck in a meeting that could have been an email. What have I missed? I'm just doing some visual stuff, so tidying up the currency, animation, and then now I'm working on making the boss transition a little bit nicer. Code's fine as long as it matches everything else. Also, what palette is that? Looks wonderful. It's called Witching Hour from Low Spec. I see what you're saying, however, you're not that picky with PRs if you have a coding job. That would drive people nuts. Well, I will be a little bit devil's advocate for the people that are sticklers in the PR. It's like, it is very important to me, at least, for the code style to be consistent throughout all of your code bases. It just gets everyone on the same page. It makes all the code look the same. It makes all the code easier to follow. It reduces the sort of mental workload of figuring out like, okay, well, this one is indented differently and this one has different spacing and this one uses different typing or whatever, or no typing at all. So enforcing a code standard, I think it almost does reduce the mental workload a little bit when you're hopping around the code base. And, you know, I think there's something to be said too for paying attention to detail and making sure everything is like nice and tight and buttoned up and looks nice and professional. You know, it's like, it is important, I think, you know. But usually though, with like PRs, if you're enforcing code style, you're using an automated tool. So you run like your linting as part of the pull request like workflow. And so a reviewer doesn't actually need to make sure that you're following the code style. It will just run that lint in the PR workflow and just reject the PR automatically until you make the changes. So it's not necessarily a person that's being a stickler, but rip Firebelly. Why am I dying? Is that pop-up you triggered a description on what the finger does? Yeah. So if I right click on any of these cards, I get a full screen description of what the card does. Not certain if this is going to change. This is probably going to change. At least this section is going to change. that is an area of the app that I want to, or an area of the app, oh my gosh, an area of the game that I want to tidy up some more. I think the layout is generally fine, but it's just not like, it doesn't match stylistically with the rest of the game. So I'm going to take a look at that. I've aged out of dev work. I'm an architect now. There you go. Yeah, every architect without exception is like, I don't mean this as an insult to you, lunatic, but every architect I've ever worked with is like highly opinionated and like has a very strict way of doing things. And I think that's actually good because the architect is sort of responsible for not just the current like short-term needs, but the long-term maintainability and setup of the system. And so you kind of need somebody to be opinionated in that role. So, but yeah, it's definitely true. I only reject PRs on design grounds. I'm learning to hold my tongue too on PRs for new devs. As long as it's working, they don't have to code exactly like me. Yeah, there does have to be some leeway, I guess. Something like a dictionary for items, then maybe you could just have it as a large tooltip or something. The problem with a tooltip is that these abilities here, so this is as small as the text can be. The text cannot be any smaller than what you see here. So that automatically makes the tooltip like need to be hugely, like huge. But also there can be an indefinite number of abilities here because of the alchemy system. So the card, this could have like 4 more abilities added to it, and that wouldn't fit in a tooltip. So I don't think a tooltip is an option for these cards. I could maybe do like an abbreviated tooltip somehow, but yeah, that would be very difficult, I think, to do, generally speaking. Same, but different. And if you've got lots for item, then a dedicated book button with open book background. Ooh, yeah, that could work. Like a little encyclopedia. I hate JavaScript because it's loosely typed. Yes. Well, again, if you enforce TypeScript, then it basically is not loosely typed. But I've seen projects that are like quote unquote using TypeScript, but then there's just like any keyword everywhere. Like, oh, this is a type of any. It's like you're defeating the purpose of using TypeScript. Hello, Adam. Welcome back. JavaScript is bad for those who don't know enough. Yeah, that can be true for sure. Hello, the friendly foe. Welcome. Good to see you. If I had the luxury of not working on 15-year-old code bases, yeah. I have a mono repo. The code base that I'm working on right now is only a couple years old, and it's a mess. It is just absolutely terrible, but that's okay. I have a mono repo TypeScript project for a keystroke launcher I've been working on for a couple years. I love the type system. I don't think I can go back to JS now. Yeah, me too. Yep, yeah. I think the word that they use is transpiling because it's not really a compiler. It's just basically reorganizing it. Hello, Rin. Welcome back. If your game isn't in piracy sites, it's not doing well in terms of sales. What do you think of that? I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if that's generally true. Oh, when I got killed in game, gotcha. Architects have to forever maintain everything, yeah. I'd much rather have an opinionated architect that's a little grumpy than an architect who's just like, anything goes, because that's not going to turn out good. What do you think of indie game dev as career? It's not a good idea as a career until you can demonstrate that you can generate income consistently. I wouldn't just like say, I've never made a game before and quit your job and then go make an indie game expecting to make money. Of course that can happen, but the strategy that I'm taking is, you know, I was doing game development as a hobby with the intention of releasing commercial games when I had a full-time job. And I also created Udemy courses. So my situation is a little bit interesting because I have other sources of income besides games. But when I didn't have those other sources of incomes, I was making games like on the weekend, and I was still trying to sell the game. I was still trying to make commercial releases, but I still had a full-time job to pay the bills. So my strategy has been demonstrate that I can make money through these other various enterprises, right? Before quitting my job. And actually I didn't even quit my job. I was working at a startup and we ran out of funding, so we had to shut down, and I just took that opportunity to try full-time game dev. So it's not like I even made a conscious decision to quit my job. So anyway, I don't think it's a good idea. Oh, and the message got deleted, it looks like. RIP message. Hugely huge. Tooltip would be too large, maybe a slide out panel though. A slide out panel could work, and it would kind of mesh with the drawer there. Hello, Ignosum. Good morning to you. I've just released a jam game, was thinking of submitting it for review, but I've submitted 2 projects already and don't want to burden you. That's okay, you can submit it. Yeah, just again, with the caveat that there's no guarantee that I'll look at the project, but it's not a proper project until you've rewritten it 12 times. Yep. No, I think yeah, with enough practice you get into the situation where you don't need to rewrite things as much. All right, what am I doing? Oh yeah, I want to check those. Okay, close that. Let's go into the combat here, kill that guy, get my blood. Ooh, look at that. So we got put into the boss fight there. That's cool. So this is what I was talking about yesterday. My game camera does not support a duration for shaking, which is a little bit unfortunate. So if I wanted to do a longer camera shake, I have no way of doing that. Upgrade card, skip. I might just duplicate this a couple times. I know this is terrible, but I'm just testing this out for now. Probably will come up with a better animation for that, but we'll see. There's so many quality of life things I need to add to this too. You know what I might do actually? I'm jumping all over the place, I'm sorry, but while I'm thinking of it, let's see. Did I add a new state for this? I think I did. State combat victory, yeah, and here. I'm gonna kill the enemy board here at the same time that the blood comes out. I think that's gonna look nicer. You also have courses in Godot and Udemy. You don't promote your stuff a lot, very humble of you, but I wouldn't mind promoting your stuff. They are nice. Well, I promote it during the streams and whatnot. So I do a little bit of promotion, but I am mostly interested in focusing on this game during these streams. But I should probably promote my, especially in the code review videos, I should probably promote my Udemy courses more. It's probably a good idea. Probably a good idea. I don't know how I like this animation. Let's see. Yeah, I think fading out the enemy right there makes sense. Yeah, this is gonna be... I might just fake it, honestly. For var I equals 0, I is less than 10, I plus plus. We're gonna do this. I deleted the text because I messed up. I can't spell. That's all right. That's all right. Currently working on a plugin system, so that's forced me to rewrite a lot of things. Not very fun. Oh, a plugin system for your game? Like a game plugins like that players could write? Or is it like an editor tool that you're writing? Oh, that looks pretty good, actually. Yeah, I can't complain about that too much. Sweet. All right, we're getting there. The game is slowly coming together. Slowly but surely. Will you make more game dev tutorials? I don't see any from you recently. Maybe on Tween. Yeah, I have a lot of stuff that I want to do, honestly, but I'm being stretched relatively thin nowadays, unfortunately. I still have to make devlogs for this game, too. But I think I want the first devlog of this game to coincide with, like, the first playtest that's available. I think it'd be more interesting to start with a game that's, like, got a core loop in place, and then just, like, do devlogs that cover the changes beyond that. Like I said before, though, I'm very optimistic about this game. I'm very much looking forward to getting this into everyone's hands and getting early feedback and continuing to develop it, of course. I think it's going to be... This game, I think this game has more potential than Gunforged ever had. So I'm really excited to just like keep working on this, but... Order of operations. First, I gotta focus on my part-time job, make sure that I'm doing a good job there so that I get paid, and then I need to finish my Udemy course that I'm currently working on and almost done with, and then beyond those two priorities I can focus on this one. Oh, I also have to do code reviews. Goodness gracious. Do you think the game name reveal and Steam page are coming soon? Yeah, so I think what I want to do is I want to release the Steam page, release the name of the game, release the first playtest, release maybe a Discord community, YouTube memberships, all of that stuff all at the same time. So I gotta do some planning. I mean, I already have the YouTube memberships planned out. I just need a good time to release them. You look like Hacker Man, do I? Well, that's good. I skipped over your message. I don't see a message. Oh, I did click it, but I guess I skipped over it. What's better, Game Juice or Game Milk? Okay, well, that's not a very important message, is it? Okay. What is Game Milk, though? If Game Milk was actually a term that was like a corollary to Game Juice, what would it be? Game Juice, Game Milk. Yeah, let's put your suggestions in the chat. If Game Milk was an actual term, what would that refer to? It's for Keystroke Launcher app, as I want people to be able to integrate services like Notion. Gotcha. Make your own commands. Very cool. The art is really, really nice. Thank you, Lunatic. I appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. If you need playtesters, let me know. Yeah, my plan is... I don't know. I think the playtest will just be open. So I have a YouTube membership tier that I'm planning, which is relatively inexpensive, but it's going to give you priority access to playtests. I still think I want to do a public playtest, but what I might do is say, okay, anyone who has this YouTube membership tier will get like 1 week of early access to the first playtest or whatever, and then I'll open it up to anyone that's in the Discord after that. I don't know. I still have a lot of thinking to do about this stuff, but might be helpful to show a subtle grid overlay on the boards when dragging the item, as the background is quite dark, so people might find it harder to see what fits. Yeah, so I think that's a good suggestion. One thing that I still want to do with the board is I want to add a bunch of quality of life stuff to the board. So like, for instance, if let's say I've got this card here, and I want to drop this card here, I want it to just dynamically shift that card over for you if it's got space. So like, you don't have to say, oh shoot, I don't have room, now I gotta move this over and drag this over again. I think it would be nice to just have the cards just auto move to create room. I think that would be really nice. And then having like quick placement stuff where you can just click to shift it over, you know? And then, yeah, also showing like a little glowing outline over the grid cells that it's going to be placed at. So it's definitely stuff that I want to do. I don't know if any of that's going to be available for the initial playtest, but yeah, definitely some quality of life stuff that I need to do there. Definitely Game Jam goes good on toast. Game Milk is funny, yeah. Please don't make your chat YouTube Premium only. No, I'm not going to. No. The chat is subscribers only, and that's mostly just an anti-spam measure. But yeah, there are going to be... I think the only content that's going to be like for YouTube members is going to be like maybe just longer code review videos that are less edited so they have more information in them. Or, you know, other minor content things. Milk is good for your bones, so Game Milk would probably be the structure of the game. Yeah, that's true, yeah. Game Milk. If Game Juice is subtle game feel, Game Milk is fat animations and screen effects. There you go. High and fat game feel is too much game feel. Hello, pseudonym. My retro handheld arrived, but I couldn't use it as a gamepad. Oh, why is that? Can you not connect it up to the PC, or are there no drivers for it? Or Game Milk could be a game prototype, like a bare bones version. I don't know. I kind of think, yeah, Game Milk is like a super, like, thick, creamy kind of thing. So maybe Game Milk could just refer to like the content that's in the game, you know? Like World of Warcraft has a lot of game milk, you know? A lot of sustenance there. A lot to keep you hooked. For the playtest, I think you should focus on the game loop and balance. Quality of life can come later. Yeah, I think so. Alright, so there's a bunch of stuff that I still need to do. Let me think. I like that boss transition though. For now, it's a simple enough boss transition. So if I beat this guy, get all those going, go back to the map, we get a little bit of a screen shake, and we get put into the boss fight, and there we go. I think that works okay. Let's see. Okay, there's another question here, though, which is what happens... What happens if I do this? So if I go in here, take this, go out, expand that. Oh, that just transitions very nicely. Okay, that works. Cool. Just trying to make sure I can't get my UI into a bad state here. I don't think so, but... we'll see. Cool. Yeah, I don't think it's possible to get the UI into a bad state. I think it's pretty tightened up. Oh, but that... ooh. There's a problem there, actually. Let me see if I can articulate what the problem is. Oh, if I have that open, the old... This old one go... oh, okay. So what's happening here is when I expand that drawer, I'm creating an instance of the combat widget here. That only goes away when I close it. It only slides out when I close it. So the problem is when I go into a combat... so if I go here, I skip. If I go into a combat and then I open this up, that another combat widget is going to be created for the combat encounter. So there's actually two widgets stacked here. So I actually need that to go away. Let me add boss transition. So let me figure out how to do that here. Let's see. Let's see, force expand. I think it's just going to be as simple as slide out the combat widget. So let's do this. Private void remove combat widget. Okay, I'll reverse this for you, lunatic. Okay. Remove combat widget. And then in force expand, I will do remove combat widget here as well, just in case. I think that will work all right, so let's try it again. Skip. That looks fine. I mean, that's not going to be a very likely scenario, but the most important thing is that that's just not stacked together, you know what I mean? Okay, so that's fixed. Can auto-resolve there. All right, fix duplicates, combat widget. How do you find suitable art style for your game? This looks very cool. Well, it starts usually with just looking for a color palette that might fit the kind of style that I'm going for. And usually I just like look up other pixel art inspiration too and kind of get a feel for like how I might be able to replicate what I'm going for. And then a lot of it is just trial and error too. So I know that's not a very helpful solution, but or helpful answer. The handheld is supposed to take in input, not output. I once got a controller working with a software called Moonlight, but that requires a shared Wi-Fi connection, and since I'm using phone internet, couldn't use the retro handheld on my computer on the same internet to use Moonlight, so I'm going to return the retro handheld. Oh, that sucks. Sorry to hear that. Have you played my game yet? I've been fiending to program something, but I don't know what. Made transparent video viewer, but it's too buggy to market. Any ideas? Something for me to program? I don't have any ideas, I'm sorry. And no, I haven't played your game. Like I said, I have very little time, generally speaking, so I might not get around to it, unfortunately. But thank you again for sending it over. Transparent video viewer, that's interesting. Really love to see a devlog for this. Like the vibe, but don't go what's going on here. Yeah, I should probably explain what the game is doing, or what the vision for the game is every stream, but I've been kind of not doing that. Shoke R, what is the node and scene annotations? Never seen this before. Those are annotations that I wrote in my source generator. So on my GitHub, there's Godot utilities. So github.com/firebelly, there's this Godot utilities package. It's got source generators where if you mark a class as a scene, that enables source generation. And then the nodes here, what these do is these generate automatic assignment functionality. So if you call wire nodes, this is source generated. And basically it takes the member name, so like toggle, let's say player inventory here, and it just looks for a node with that name player inventory, and it assigns it as the type of the member. And it does a bunch of different matching here. It tries to match several different versions of the name with different casings and all that stuff. So yeah, and that's all generated code there. And so it just makes assigning nodes a lot easier. So instead of writing get node over and over and over again, you can just mark the class with scene and then just mark any node you want to get with node. And then as long as you're calling wire nodes somewhere, that will assign all those references for you. 50 watching today, stream doing well. Yes, indeed. Your code is now not consistent. You have to fix the other ifs now. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yes, thank you, Emerson. What websites do you use for looking at palettes? Lospec, L-O-S-P-E-C. The built-in Aseprite palettes are not bad to look at either, but the nice thing about Lospec is that the color palettes that are available there often have example art that was done by a good artist, and so you can kind of get a feel for what the palette looks like in an actual like artistic application. What's your favorite game? Hollow Knight? No. Do I have a favorite game? I don't know. I don't know if I have a favorite game. Is there a way for viewers to look at other viewers' submissions that haven't been reviewed for you by you? No, and the reason that is because in the forum I allow people to remain anonymous. But sometimes people that want to remain anonymous are also sharing their email addresses. So I'd have to like clean it up. But also like, I don't know if I didn't ask people during the forum submission if I had permission to like publicize their links or whatever. So I'm not going to do that. No, I would have to start a new forum submission where people understand that I may share the link publicly, but since I didn't make that clear, that's not something that I'm going to do. But it is a good idea. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of things to do for sure. Low spec is the GOAT. Yes, absolutely. DB16B, my typical go-to. I'll have to check that one out. I would say Elden Ring is your favorite. Yeah, Elden Ring is good. I mean, there's so many games. Like, I just don't know if I could choose a favorite. I mean, it's my favorite game, League of Legends, which I dumped thousands of hours into. It's my favorite game, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, which I dumped thousands of hours into. Is my favorite game, Valheim. Is my favorite game, DayZ. You know, it's my favorite game, Minecraft. I don't know how to answer that question. Sekiro, Sekiro is one of the few games in history that I've ever gotten all the achievements on. The other being Elden Ring, funnily enough. So I just don't know how to answer that question. Dawnbringer16, nice. Is there a Firebelly Discord channel? Not yet. Which character did I play in League? Azir. Azir was my main. Syndra was my main before Azir came out. Yeah, dude, the DayZ days. I was in college when DayZ was like at the height of its popularity. And man, just the memories of having just like Saturday afternoons melt away because we were running across Chernarus with all my college buddies, running for 3 hours and then getting shot at and then doing it all over again. It was fun times, fun times. Is your favorite game that kind of game? I don't know what kind of game. I used to really like competitive multiplayer games more than anything else, but that has changed as I got older. For context, I'm 30 years old. I know a lot of people like watch me and think that I'm 24 or something. No, I'm 30, so. Do you still play League? I do not, no. I gave up that addiction long ago. DayZ Arma mod, the good old days. Oh yeah, I never played I played the standalone DayZ. Discord channel will be a nice place for people to share projects that do not get reviewed. That's true, yeah. Sekiro, yeah. I actually, before Night Rain came out, I started a new Sekiro run with the Demon Bell and without the Kuro's Charm for max difficulty. I was having fun with that. I noticed your favorite games do not have plots. Yes, I do not care about story at all. I'm never gonna play games like what's the Last of Us. I'm never gonna play that game because it's basically just a movie. I'm not interested. The only game that I really got a little bit invested in the story in was Baldur's Gate 3. Actually, you know what? Maybe that is my answer. Maybe Baldur's Gate 3 is my favorite game. But yeah, that was the only one where I really got interested in the story. But yeah, I don't play games that are story-centric. I'm not interested. Wow, you're 30? I did assume you were mid-20s, yeah. The only reason I said that is because I'm saying like, oh yeah, back in my college days. It's like, what do you mean, like 2 years ago? No, my college days were like 7 years ago now. 8 years ago. I stepped away from competitive games as well. Don't have the time to sink in them to be good anymore. Yeah. I'm retired. Subnautica, you should try it. I've heard that's great. Last of Us is great. Yeah, I don't doubt it's a good game. Just story. If the game's primary hook is the story is good, I'm not interested. That's just me though. I'm not saying that those games aren't enjoyable or aren't good. Wait until you play Expedition 33. Probably not going to play that one either. I feel disgust playing League now too. Something about age makes you not care for instant dopamine on that level. Yeah. That's definitely true. I can't even say how many hours I spent on Demon of Hatred. Oh, yeah. Being addicted to League is bad for game dev. The closest thing to League for me now is TFT, and I just play a game before bed. Yeah, I just generally don't get hooked by video games like I used to anymore. I think it's just a matter of aging, I guess. Expedition 33, the game of the year. Honestly, I prefer games with good gameplay and lacking stories than the other way around. I've been carrying that philosophy into my own game as well. Yeah. And the other thing too is like when you're making a game, if you can make a game that's fun without a story, you're just reducing your workload, right? Because if you're trying to make a game that's also has a heavy story element, then that means you also need to be a good writer. And so you need to be a good marketer, you need to be a good artist, you need to be a good programmer, you need to be a good game designer, and now you need to be a good narrative writer. It's like every skill you add as a requirement to make a good game is just going to reduce the likelihood of you being able to make a good game, right? It's because you're just adding more and more things that you need to be good at all at the same time. And so I just think that, yeah, that's the reason I don't do story games. Not that I wouldn't ever do a story game, but I don't have the writing chops or the confidence that I could create a compelling narrative. That's basically, I think I could do world building pretty well, but you know, games are not just about world building. It's, you know, you have to tie in that world building with a narrative. When I think of my favorite games, I think more of which games made me connect emotionally and artistically rather than fun. Yeah, gotcha. Gameplay of Last of Us is actually really good as well. It has some crazy AI in it. I've heard that, yeah. I've never played League of Legends. That makes me respect Stardew Valley even more. Yeah, Stardew Valley is one game that I really did enjoy too. I guess you could say that's more narrative heavy, but just the gameplay was really fun. I was working on procedural generation dungeon like Binding of Isaac, but struggling with minimap like that. Any suggestion? I didn't find any Godot tutorial for that on YouTube. Well, Binding of Isaac, they're just like rectangular rooms, right? For the most part, unless it's gotten more complicated. But if it's just rectangular rooms, I think you would just have to make like little sprites. Like you could use 9-slice rectangles or whatever, and just make them proportionally the same size as the rooms. So just keep the proportions in terms of the length and the height, like the ratio intact. And then, yeah, I think it would be, the problem is I know how I would generally go about doing that, but what the exact implementation looks like, I don't know. So maybe just start there though. Like if you have the relative locations of every room and also the ratio in terms of the length and width, it should be relatively easy to just place a bunch of rectangles in the proper places in like a UI element or something. But just found out yesterday that The Last of Us Part 2 had a budget of $220 million. Yikes. Well, if the game's making $1 billion, then that's quite a thing. Wasn't sold on The Last of Us, but playing through it probably had the best combat I've ever played in a game, though the difficulty settings felt really skewed and too hard. Maybe just me. Interesting. Yeah, I haven't really paid much attention to the combat on that game. I also don't have a PlayStation, so it's kind of a moot point anyway. Okay, I'm going to take a quick 3-minute break, and when I come back, we're going to fix up some more visual elements here. There's a couple of things that I want to address. One thing is that this auto-resolve thing on the combat widget is hanging around when the combat ends. So that needs to be fixed. Also, the auto-resolve needs to go away when I die. And then there's also one other thing, which is that the little turn tracker up here is not fading out. So this little eyeball thing, that doesn't fade out with the rest of the map when I go. So that's going to be addressed as well. So I've got a couple of loose ends to tie up, but I'll be right back. And I will continue on with this work. Okay, everybody, I'm back. You can play it on PC. Oh, well, it shows you how out of touch I am. Decent Godot dungeon explanation. Put the cat in the screen. Oh, he's sleeping right now. Yeah, it's a cat. His name is Azir. So there you go. Okay, so let's go ahead and address those things that I was talking about. Let's focus on the auto-resolve part of the combat widget here. So I think there's something in here called like hide auto-resolve. Yeah, so this needs to happen. Where is this currently happening? Hide auto-resolve and then change to combat, hide auto-resolve. Okay, so when the combat ends, I think I can do this. Let's see. Game events.instance.connect. Game events.signalName.combat ended. Callable.from. Hide auto-resolve. I think that's all I need to do. Actually, let's do this. On combat ended. Scroll down here. This combat widget, funnily enough, is one of the longest scripts in this entire game. Which is like, doesn't make a whole lot of sense because there's a lot of complex things happening in this game, but it's kind of funny how that works anyway. On combat ended. I think that's going to do it, so let's go ahead and see. So I'm going to go ahead and die to this one, and we'll just see if this auto-resolve goes away. Sweet, so that auto-resolve went away. Let's go ahead and do our sacrifice here to resurrect, and then let's go ahead and end this here. Oh, sweet, that auto-resolve just hides there, so I don't even need to fade it out. Perfect, okay. That works, so yeah, that should work just fine. Nice, perfect. Cool, well, that was easy. Oh, so difficult, man. That was so hard. Okay, anyway. Run manager. I'm gonna put this back up to 10. Okay, so now the other thing that I was talking about, if I go to my map UI, is it in here? Yeah, so this run progress bar here. Run progress event. I see. Do I want to do a canvas group in here? No, I don't think so. Hold on a second. How do I want to do this? These need to be a part of a canvas group, but the problem is if I use a canvas group, since that's a node 2D, that's no longer going to be a control node, and it's no longer going to have the proper like flow and positioning and everything. So I think the only way to do this is to maybe add a fade out here. Public void fade out. Public void fade in. I don't think I'm using this anymore. Let's get rid of this. I alternate, I closed. Okay, so I need both, so I need 3 of those. Mark these as unique name. Take our canvas group there. Move all those under the canvas group. Let's find that material. Is this the one? Yes. Private canvas group fade out material, canvas group fade out material. Let's grab a reference to that node, private canvas group. Canvas group fade out material is equal to canvas group demo material as canvas group fade out material, yeah. Okay, so fade out, canvas group fade out material dot play fade out. Bind node will make that this. We will ignore that. Okay, so now if I go to my map UI, so that's my run progress event. So if I go to my run progress bar, I'm gonna do public void fade out. Yeah, so do that. Public void fade in. Okay. So now in my map UI, do I have, let's see, map UI here, map container fade out. Okay, let's do this. Public async task fade out. Await map container. Node private run progress bar, run progress bar. Am I never fading this in though? Oh, I am fading it in. Map UI.fade in. Okay, I think that's gonna work. I don't know, we'll see. We will see. Okay. Store the map layout in a nested array and use that array to spawn minimap room sprites. That could work, yeah. What's your go-to sprite size when working with 2D art? 16 by 16, 32 by 32? Uses 48 by 48. Is it a problem? No, it's not necessarily a problem. I mean, especially if it's an art pack, you know, you just got to choose the proper screen resolution for it. But usually my art ends up being like somewhere between 16 and 32 by 32. But I don't really have a strict like size. At least when I'm working on tile-based games, the size is stricter, but this game doesn't have like really any tile set. I mean, I guess technically this grid here is a tile. But basically I just kind of like choose, I just make all the art look properly sized relative to each other. I don't worry too much about what the exact size of the sprites are. But because I chose 18 by 18 for my grid here, then that kind of does determine the size of the art in terms of the cards, right? So, but yeah, everything else is like made in relation to that size. I don't know if that's helpful, but how's the development? Development is going great. Thank you for asking. Have you ever played one of the Minecraft mod packs from the All of the Mods series? I have not, no. Oh, something broke. Null reference exception. Oh, that's because the run progress bar is nested. There we go. So that's fading out now, and I should get a nice fade in as well. Nice. Okay, that looks much nicer. Let's buy something. Oh, I can't buy an enchant yet. Well, let's go ahead and sell something so I can buy the enchant. We'll put the finger on there. Increases critical chance by 10%. Nice. Alchemy. Oops, that alchemy board is not big enough. Gotta add a way for the alchemy board to increase in size. Or maybe I'll just increase the size generally. I don't know. I'll have to think about that. Still a lot of balancing to do, of course. That dagger is doing hecka damage. Nice. That's looking pretty good. Can't complain, really. Oh, there's no path there. Okay. Max health increase. This needs to be changed. I like the way that this art looks, but it's not consistent with my other art stuff, so. Do we want to alchemize again? Oops. Well, this is just raw damage here, so we'll put that on there. I need some cards. Let's do minion cards. Ooh, slime. We also have the salamander. Do the slime. Upgrade card. Ooh, I wasted this. Okay, can't do that. So we'll skip. Oh, boss time. Let's do it. That boss board is not being animated in at all, so that's fun. I'm probably not going to win this, but let's just go ahead and try it. So yeah, lots of balancing to do still, lots of visual work to do still. Yep, there's no way I'm going to win that one. Except Final Death. That doesn't do anything yet. Okay. Lots of work to do still. Lots of work to do still. The first stream I tuned into, you made the first health globe. Game has come a long way. Looking great. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's coming along. It's really, I'm really looking forward to just getting everything working and cleaned up. It's definitely coming along. Any advice for coming up with a solid game concept as a solo dev? Feel like I always run into issue where I have ideas, but they're always too big in scope to make alone. I'm big immersive sim guy. Yeah, immersive sims are going to be hard. Honestly, the most compelling game ideas that I think I've come up with, generally speaking, have been from game jams. So I keep recommending game jams, but see, the thing about an idea, the thing that I noticed in myself at least is that it's very easy to come up with a feeling like, you know, oh, wouldn't it be cool if there was like a necromancer game where you could build up an army and like slaughter people and like take over a map full of villages? And it's like, that's not really an idea because there's no mechanics there. There's no systems there, right? It's just a general like vibe, right? So it's not really an idea, it's a vibe. And so you have to be careful not to just be like vibe based, you know, like, oh, I'm going to create a game with this vibe, because like that's not enough information to go on, right? You actually have to think about like a game idea should be, what are the actual systems and like what does the gameplay look like? And you don't need to plan it all out, but like you need to be thinking more on the mechanic level rather than at the very high like theme or vibe level. So that's one thing that I would recommend to avoid, because I've fallen into that trap where it's like, I'm gonna make this game that has this vibe, and then I go into the editor and I have no idea even like what the mechanics are. And then back to the game jam point, the game jams are really good exercises because what they do is they give you the vibe, right, with the theme. They say, hey, make a game with this theme. But then because you have such a strict time constraint, you're really forced to focus in on the idea and like narrow down and hone the central game mechanic. And really with a game jam, you really only have time to do like one major mechanic. And this is a good exercise too, is like when you're making a jam game, you make one main mechanic and then you try to make everything in the game revolve around that mechanic. You try not to blow up the scope to where you're like adding all kinds of different mechanics. You just like make everything revolve around that mechanic and stretch that mechanic as much as you possibly can. And if you do enough game jams, you'll find that that's a really good way of actually coming up with really creative ideas. So I think the point that I'm ultimately getting to is that, in my experience, constraints, putting really like strict constraints on yourself, whether you're using a limited color palette or whether you're just saying these are the only mechanics that are going to be in the game, they actually do breed a lot of creative thinking and a lot of out-of-the-box thinking, which is exactly the thing that you want when you're presenting a game to a player. You want to surprise them or show them like your clever design, right? So anyway, that's a long-winded way of saying that game jams are a great way to practice that. For me, ideas aren't the problem, completing them are. I completely forgot I was watching this and I just wasn't even listening. Your streams are really good background noise. Well, I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, I'm happy to be background noise. I mean, I do the same thing. I'll put on like a game dev podcast or something and not really listen to it while I'm working. Devlogs need to be recommended more by the algorithm. They shouldn't be in the same category as gaming. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how YouTube recommends those things. Let me think. Is there anything else that I can tackle right now? I don't think so. Let me think. Any other obvious like visual things that can be solved here? The enemy board is not animating in at all, so that needs to be addressed at some point. Yeah, there's just a lot of rough edges here that just need to be cleaned up. This art needs to be redone. Shop is looking good. Ooh, increased board size. Can do this. Look at that. A marionette. Okay. Another increased board size. Look at that. Massive power increase. So I can go here now. Okay. Alchemy. I can't do anything with the alchemy, so we'll go away. Booster. Let's do alchemical. And alembic. These are all ritual. So let's see if I can do this. Actually, let's get rid of that. If I put this here, that's going to give me 3 preserve per allied ritual card. So I'm going to get 9 shield after every turn of that. Oh, and I'm getting shield from the finger too. Look at that. Oh, but this is doing no damage. I don't have any minions on the board. Oh, goodness. Okay. Well, I still won because of the necrosis debuff, but I wonder... I'm actually curious to see if I'm going to win this combat encounter here. Nope. But didn't do any damage at all to it. Okay. Alright. That's fun. I'll try hopping in a jam or two. Yeah, I'd recommend it. I think it's a really good way of practicing everything. Speaking of algorithm, what category do you put your videos in for YouTube? I think I put them in science and technology. Gaming didn't seem right to me because this is more of a technical channel, right? So, do you use animation tree in games or just finite state machine? I'm a bit confused when to use when. Yeah, I just use the finite state machines in script. I don't have any experience with the animation tree, unfortunately. GMTK, Brackies, and Kenny. Jeepers. I'm definitely going to do GMTK. I might do Brackies. I'm probably not going to do Kenny Game Jam. Part of the fun of Game Jams for me is creating like an art style too. So I don't want to use Kenny assets necessarily. But when is the Brackies Game Jam? Can I just look this up? Brackies Game Jam. 2025. 2 months. So that's August 24th. So GMTK is at the end of July, right? Yeah. End of July into August, and then there's another one at the end of August. Wow, looks like I'm going to be busy. I'm going to be busy with game jams. Okay. Pirate Jam opens in a month as well. Goodness gracious. Too many. Okay, anyway, that's going to be it for the stream today. I have a meeting in a half hour that I need to prep for, and also probably should eat something before then because I'm hungry. So thank you all for being here. Thank you all for watching. Very much appreciate that. And if you want to support me, you can check out the links in the description below. Those are all the ways you can support me. You can purchase Gunforged. You can purchase one of my Udemy courses. If you're interested, hit the notification bell to be notified when new videos go live. I will publish a video announcement when the new course is available. So if you don't want to miss that, hit the notification bell. But also you'll be notified of any new code review videos that go up and whenever I'm streaming. So thank you again, everyone. And appreciate you all being here. It was fun chatting with you all. And I will see you, let me think. I think I'll be free tomorrow at the usual time. Yeah, I'll be back here tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern. So hope to see you there. All right. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Liftoff of mission 41B, the first flight of the Earth Discovery, and the shuttle has cleared the tower.